The fallout from Saturday's record-breaking fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao continues. And Pacquiao could potentially lose millions for keeping his shoulder injury private. Two Nevada men have filed a $5 million lawsuit against Pacquiao, his manager and promoter. They say the boxer defrauded ticket buyers, television viewers and gamblers by not declaring that he had an injury. The lawsuits came just hours after the Nevada Athletic Commission accused the fighter of not declaring the injury in a pre-fight questionnaire.
We have two attorney generals assigned to the commission that work in concert to determine these types of situations and give us guidelines as to what we can and can't do based on state law. And we're currently going through that information. It's also, too, to brush out what, is speculation and what is actual fact. And when you come to the health and safety of the fighter, we are pretty serious about what we do. This is our business. We've been doing this business for the last 50, 60 years here in the state, and we're pretty good at it. We pride ourselves on being the fight capital of the world, and in order to maintain that status, we have to ensure that we're doing the best job we can for the fighter.
We'll get much more on that developing story in the Boxing Chat with Adam Smith and Johnny Nelson on the Morning View from 10 o'clock right here on Sky Sports News HQ.
Now, from the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas to the glitz and glamour of the Sky Sports News HQ studios, Adam Smith and Johnny Nelson, you're very welcome back. Lovely to have you with us again in the studio. Only one place to start, Mayweather, Pacquiao. You were there, you were ringside. What was it like?
We were just about to wake, the jet lag and all that, but it was a phenomenal week. It was probably the best week I've ever had on the boxing team over the last couple of decades. It was just one event after the next. It was incredible. The weigh-in was second to none. Fantastic atmosphere. Everyone buzzing all week. The night itself was just full of expectation and hope and A-list celebrities and fight fans, and the whole of Vegas was buzzing the whole week.
No, I think Pacquiao walked in first. Actually, we're saying that Mayweather walked in first. Pacquiao walked in first. And when he walked in, that's when you realise, gosh, it's happening. It's really happening. Mayweather walked in, I think Mr. Burger King was walking behind him.
Yes.
And then when they were both in the ring, to me, the atmosphere, the crowd, you could feel it was electric. It was packed out. And I mean packed out. The cheapest tickets were $10,000 and they were up in the gods. Packed out. There wasn't a spare seat in the house. The atmosphere was second to none. Everything you could expect.
It was. The arrivals on the Tuesday, I mean, were massive events in itself. Pacquiao had 3,000 or 4,000 Filipinos, and then we went over to the MGM, and Mayweather had thousands there, and it was sort of pomp and circumstance and the whole sort of difference between the two characters. Yeah. And then we had the press conference, and it was amazing to work on.
Well, let's get to the fight itself. How impressed were you with Mayweather?
I was very impressed with Floyd Mayweather, and it was pretty much like I thought the fight was going to unfold. Yes, it didn't have the toe-to-toe warfare. It didn't have those sparks of drama that maybe the sort of casual audience wanted to see. But as a boxing clinic, I thought Mayweather won by 4, maybe 5 rounds. He was spot on. He got hold of the middle of the ring straight away. He negated Pacquiao's tactics in the first couple of rounds. And I just thought he flowed and boxed beautifully, and Pacquiao was disappointing.
Yes, he was. Listen, you spoke to most people about the fight, and they said, my head's telling me Mayweather, my heart's telling me Pacquiao. Some went for the heart. I was one of the very few that went for the heart, but common sense told you if it wasn't for pace, if Pacquiao can't take the pace, Mayweather was going to do exactly what he did. A few people were complaining about the fight, and I say this, if you put your hand in a crocodile's mouth and it bites you, don't complain, because that's what it does. You see Floyd Mayweather fight, he boxes, he's an artist. Don't complain, because that's what he does. And he just outboxed, outfoxed, outmoved, he outsmarted him. And the crowd wanted crash, bang, wallop. You aren't going to get that from Floyd Mayweather. You've got to love the fight game, because this guy, that's what he produced.
You never get that from Floyd Mayweather. I was lucky enough to be sitting sort of 12 feet from ringside, as I was when
you left me.
But as I was when he fought Juan Manuel Marquez as well, and you can really appreciate what Mayweather does. He flows, his rhythm is terrific, his timing so precise, and the way he was utilising his jab, the right hand's coming into play. He landed a beautiful uppercut at one point, a check left hook. I mean, he really was poetry at times. I mean, funnily enough, one or two people thought Pacquiao won the fight. I mean, which I couldn't see at all. I mean, it is subjective, of course, but for me, in patches, Mayweather was absolutely brilliant, and that is why he is now 48-0, and that's why he's the best fighter of our generation.
OK, well, let's get on to the latest story to come out of this fight. Pacquiao, the subject of a lawsuit after being accused of lying over a shoulder injury that he suffered before the fight. What do you make of this?
You can look at this from both angles. From Pacquiao's point of view, it's the biggest fight in history. It's 2 weeks away from the fight. If he pulls out, if he cancels, it took 5 years to negotiate this to happen. So he's thinking there's a lot at stake here. I really believe I can beat this guy. I've done it. I boxed with a broken rib. I didn't tell anybody. And I still won the fight. They found that after the fight. So, and most fighters have done it. Trust me. His problem was he told people afterwards. He should have been a bit humble, accepted defeat, but maybe out of frustration, whatever, he decided to tell people, look, I tore my shoulder. He shouldn't have done that. From the fans' point of view, they're saying, you know, a couple are saying they want to sue him. I don't think this should go down that line because that'll open the floodgates for all the other fighters that have done it in the past. I've done it, many other fighters have done it if they tell you the truth. For Manny Pacquiao, the only disappointing thing is I think he should have been a little more humble in defeat and kept it zipped. And it's just one of those things, he's going to have to live with it. It's not going to make any difference. I can't see there being a rematch. So what difference has it made?
But there are reports in America that say Mayweather has said that he may fight Pacquiao after surgery.
Oh, he could fight anyone, couldn't he, Mayweather? It's up to Mayweather. He fights in September. That's the end of the Showtime deal. 49-0, if he wins that, will he then go on and try and beat the Marciano record and get to 50-0? Probably yes. So who's he going to fight in September? Well, it won't be Pacquiao anyway, because Pacquiao's out for a few months now. It could be possibly Amir Khan, but the problem is he's got Ramadan over the summer, so that really is problematic for his training. Possibly Kell Brook, our IBF welterweight champion, who defends against Frankie Gavin in a few weeks. Maybe Kell will be in there. There's obviously names like Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, there's many others, but Mayweather's got to pick someone for September because that's in the deal. And then beyond that, will he have one more? I think he will, but we'll see on that. But it's up to Mayweather.
Yeah, so going back on Amir Khan, do you think there is any chance that this could happen?
Not in September. No, I don't. I do think from Mayweather's point of view, again, I'll probably get it shut down for it. From Mayweather's point of view, I don't think he should go down the Amir Khan route because Amir Khan's too young, he's too fresh, he's too busy. It'd make things awkward. I'm not saying Amir Khan would win. I'm saying Amir Khan would give him more trouble than it's worth. But after Saturday's performance, you think, well, would he really? Amir Khan, in this case, is probably... he's got too many qualifications for this fight, so I just think he's out of the mix. Unfortunately, he's on the outside looking in, Amir Khan.
Johnny, could you see somebody else getting the gig in September and then maybe next year for that 50-0 he comes over to Wembley and fights Khan?
No, I just can't see him doing it. Vegas is his home, Vegas is his patch. I just can't see him doing it. I just can't see Amir getting the fight. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, I'm just saying...
How about Kell?
Kell might get the shot. He's an IBF champion. He's got the credentials. He's got something to lose. And again, Floyd Mayweather could say, right, I'll have that and give this belt up.
Yeah.
This is, you know, I'm bigger than the belts.
OK. Let's step away from Vegas and Mayweather and Pacquiao for a bit.
Well, back to reality.
Back to reality. Oh, dear. Never nice, is it? Let's get to the domestic scene. It is a big night for Anthony Joshua, stepping up his return from a shoulder injury. Against Rafael Zumbano, Kevin Johnson in a month too. What do you think he's looking for in this fight?
I think for Anthony Joshua, he knows he's got a big fight the end of the month against Kevin Johnson. So I hope he doesn't try and look past Zumbano because that's a very dangerous thing any fighter can do. I'd expect him to do the job. Zumbano, I think, is probably going to be with the first opponent to get past 3 rounds. He's experienced. He's had 47 fights. He's won 36. He's not, I think it's maybe about 20 of them out or so, around that figure.
Shannon Briggs' distance,
yeah.
He sounds tough, but probably a level below. So.
Yes. Yeah, I think he might be able to, hustle his way through past 4 rounds at least. But I do expect Anthony Joshua to steamroller his way through because this guy's a fighting machine.
Yeah, and there's also plenty of other big names on the card as well. Who else can we see in Birmingham?
It's a good bill. Sam Eggington, who he's a really sort of improving young fighter. He's up in a 12-rounder. We've got the Yafai brothers. We've got Luke Campbell. Yeah. So I think it's the first show that Anthony and Luke are on together, 2 Olympic gold medalists, which will be good. And Matthew Macklin as well comes back after that defeat in Dublin, and obviously he'll be looking for maybe a shot against someone like Andy Lee. So it's Pat Birmingham. It's a good card. And then we've got got obviously the action in Texas as well on
Yes.
Saturday night involving Ricky Burns and Jamie McDonnell, which is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, well, in terms of Ricky Burns, do you think this is a chance to revitalise his career?
Yeah, he's had a tough sort of 18 months, hasn't he? You know, he got that sort of controversial draw with Ray Beltran. He lost to Terence Crawford, Zatikanin. He had a real bad sort of patch. I mean, at very high level, but a bad patch. So it's a chance for him. It's his first fight in the States, but it's tough. Very tough against Omar Figueroa, who's really good, isn't he?
Yeah, Ricky Burns as well, this bad patch, he was going through a lot of stuff outside of the ring as well, and if that affects a fight, it does affect your game. So it was very hard for him. So hopefully, now those troubles have passed, we'll see something a little bit special from Ricky Burns. If he
heat, though, it's going to be
if
hard,
he belongs at that level, because realistically, Ricky Burns has overachieved on paper in everything he's achieved, winning world titles, but you know, when he's got up there to top level, he's dug in deep. But Ricky Burns,
that was
now,
an upset, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a massive upset, and that's why all of a sudden you're looking at levels, you're thinking, wow, what has Ricky Burns got? What can he do? He's tough, he's a grafter, he's going to put the work in, but I do think there will be a difference now in his performance, win or lose, in Texas.
OK, be interesting to see how he gets on there. Finally, before we let you go, what's coming up on ringside tomorrow?
We'll be talking about that. Also, Jamie McDonnell's got a big fight against Tomoki Kameda on the card as well. We've got Kell Brook on the show. We'll be looking back, obviously, at Mayweather Pacquiao, forward to Birmingham and Texas. And we've got Paul Smith. He's got what people are saying is Mission Impossible against Andre Ward in mid-June, and he's going to give us a little insight into the tactics that he might take with him to Oakland.
And it's all back to reality.
Back to reality.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Nice to be back.
But it's lovely to have you back with us, as always. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rachel.
OK, coming up,